Good morning, friends. Today I am going to discuss an essay of dramatic poesy by Dryden. It is a very important work of literary criticism. Let's get it started. Dryden is one of the most important literary critics of the Restoration Age. He is called the father of English literary criticism because he gave English criticism a systematic and practical direction. His most important critical work is an essay of dramatic poesy that was published in 1668. The essay mainly discusses drama, especially the nature of tragedy and comedy, and compares ancient and modern drama as well as French and English drama. Let's know the background of the essay. Dryden wrote the essay in the form of a dialogue among four characters, such as Critias, Eugenius, Lycidius, and Neander. Each character represents a different point of view about drama. Critias supports the ancient Greek and Roman dramatists. Eugenius defends modern writers. Lycidius supports the French dramatists. And Neander, who represents Dryden himself, defends English drama. Through the discussion, Dryden examines several important literary questions. The definition of the drama. Dryden discusses drama as an imitation of human nature and human action. A good play should represent human life in a convincing and interesting manner. It should provide both pleasure and instruction to the audience. Dryden is influenced by Aristotle, but he does not blindly follow Aristotle. He adapts classical principles according to the needs of English drama. The ancient versus modern dramatists. Critias argues that the ancient Greek and Roman dramatists were superior because they followed rules and produced well-constructed plays. Eugenius, however, argues that modern writers have advantages. They have benefited from the knowledge and experience of earlier writers and have developed new forms and techniques. Dryden does not completely reject either side. He believes that modern writers can learn from the ancients but should not simply copy them. French versus English drama. Lycidius praises the French dramatists, especially because they follow dramatic rules carefully. French plays generally observe the classical three unities. The three unities are: number one, unity of action. It means the play should have one main plot. Number two, unity of time. It means the action should take place within a limited period, traditionally about 24 hours. And the third one is unity of place. It means the action should occur in one main location. According to Lycidius, this gives French drama order and artistic discipline. Neander, however, defends English drama. He argues that English playwrights, particularly Shakespeare, are more powerful because they represent a wider range of human emotions and situations. English drama may not follow classical rules, but it often creates greater dramatic and emotional effects. Shakespeare's importance. Dryden gives great importance to Shakespeare. He praises Shakespeare for his natural genius and his understanding of human nature. Shakespeare can create characters who seem real and whose emotions are convincing. Dryden also points out Shakespeare's weaknesses. He believes Shakespeare sometimes violates dramatic rules and mixes serious and comic elements. Nevertheless, Dryden considers Shakespeare a great natural genius. This is an important feature of Dryden's criticism. He can admire a writer while also pointing out his faults. Tragedy and comedy. Dryden discusses the relationship between tragedy and comedy. He supports the English practice of mixing serious and comic elements in the play, although he recognizes that some critics object to this practice. He argues that such a mixture can make a drama more realistic because real life itself contains both happiness and sorrow. However, the mixture must be handled carefully and should not destroy the unity of seriousness of the main action. Rhyme versus blank verse. One of the most important discussions in the essay concerns rhyme and blank verse. Dryden initially supports rhymed verse for serious drama. He argues that rhyme can make dramatic language more beautiful, controlled, and elevated. According to him, rhyme can be especially effective in heroic and serious scenes. However, he recognizes the strengths of blank verse, particularly in Shakespeare. Shakespeare's dramatic language is powerful even without rhyme. Thus, Dryden's discussion is not simply about poetic form, it is about how language should suit the subject and emotional situation of a play. Dryden's concept of the poet. For Dryden, a good poet needs both natural talent and artistic discipline. Genius alone is not sufficient. A poet must also study literature, understand human nature, and develop technical skills. The poet should imitate nature, but imitation does not mean simple copying. The poet should select and organize material in an artistic way. Rules and freedom. Dryden occupies a middle position between complete freedom and strict classical rules. He respects the classical tradition but does not believe that English writers must follow every classical rule mechanically. He believes that rules are useful because they help writers produce effective works, but rules should not prevent literary creativity. Dryden as a practical critic. Dryden is different from purely theoretical critics because he frequently examines actual writers and works. His criticism is practical, balanced, and based on literary experience. He does not simply say that one tradition is completely right and another completely wrong. Instead, he compares different traditions and tries to discover their strengths and weaknesses. Conclusion of the work. An Essay of Dramatic Poesy is a landmark in English literary criticism. Dryden discusses ancient and modern drama, French and English drama, Shakespeare, dramatic rules, tragedy and comedy, rhyme and blank verse, and the nature of poetic art. The central idea of Dryden's criticism is balance. He respects classical rules but values English freedom and creativity. He admires Shakespeare while recognizing his limitations. He believes that poetry should imitate nature, give pleasure, and provide instruction. Therefore, Dryden can be regarded as a bridge between classical criticism and modern English criticism. His practical, balanced, and clear approach made an Essay of Dramatic Poesy one of the foundational texts of English literary criticism. Thank you.